My good friend, the late, great Zig Ziglar, used to say, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. That means no matter what you're doing, you need a target. You need to focus on something. It's like running a race with no finish line. How do you know who won? You don't.
And that's so true in your money too. We talk to people all the time, students and adults, who say that they're winning with money. But when we start to drill down a little
10 savings accounts, but I would have 2. I recommend for adults that are out there that they keep an emergency fund that is completely separate from their other savings. And that way you don't accidentally think buying a car or buying a couch is an emergency. Because we all know in our brains that it's not an emergency, but boy, when you get in the heat of the moment, you need that money, whoo, it's real easy to use it. So, yeah, I always tell people to keep their emergency fund separate from their other savings. Now, in your other savings, you're saving for a car, but if you also were saving up for spring break, or you were saving up for the purchase of something else, you'd want to just keep yourself a little ledger as to what that money in the savings is. In other words, if I got $5,000 in there towards my car and I've got $300 saved towards summer vacation, then we need to keep it broken down like that so you don't spend your summer vacation money on the car or your car money on the summer vacation. So just kind of keep yourself a little ledger with it broken down, but definitely keep the emergency fund as a completely separate account. Good question, Riley. Thanks for calling in. You've got to make it a priority. Let's kind of talk about it this way. How many of you in here have children? Raise your hand. Once I get your hand up, keep it up. Now, if you have children, how many of you, keep your hand up. If you don't have children, how many of you hope to someday? Or there's a child anywhere on the planet you kind of like? Okay, now that's just about everybody, right? So stay with me here. Now, you can put your hands down, but let's pretend for a second that a disease had broken out. That would be awful. And there was a vaccine that was needed to save the life of your child. And that vaccine was going to cost $5,000 cash, and you had to save $5,000 cash by the end of the year. You had to save $5,000 cash by 6 or 8 months from now. And you couldn't go get it. You had to change your behaviors and save money. If it meant the life of your child, how many of us could find and save $5,000? One lady's like, which kid? But we could do it. All that means is this. Now, obviously, that we didn't give you a raise. We didn't give you a budgeting technique. We didn't give you some magic pill to make you rich. You changed your priorities. In that horrible, macabre example, you looked at it and you said, if I had to, I could do it. If it became important enough to me, I could do it. You would reprioritize your life. Let me tell you what, that's when people start saving money. When it becomes important, and it's important. Saving money as a way of life is an exercise of character. It's an exercise of emotion. It's absolutely vital. Saving money is about emotion, and it's about contentment. When we use that example of the vaccine with a child, your emotion gets you, and you say, I can do this. Ooh. And it's also about contentment. It's about, you know what, I don't have to impress you. I don't have to buy something to feel good about myself. It's okay to get me some stuff, but I'm just going to be okay where I am because it's more important for me to be able to have some savings to go to college, send my kids to college, to retire with dignity, to change my family tree, to have some stability for the first time ever in our household. That's more important than buying that thingy. And I'm not against thingies, but there's a process here that you've got to engage in. It has to become very, very important. And our parents never talked about savings much. For that matter, in a lot of households, parents didn't talk about money, did they? Our parents didn't talk about money and they didn't talk about sex. We figured they had neither. Turns out they had both. And so we got to talk about this out loud. We got to say savings matters. You know, according to the Employee Benefit Research Institute, 58% of American workers have never even calculated what it'll take for them to retire with dignity. And 59% said they hope to have a standard of living equal or better to their working years. Now listen to this. 58% have never run a calculator or look at it, but 59% have hope of being better. What kind of stupidity is that? That's total disconnect in the way we're looking at money, in the way we're handling money. It doesn't work. Well, if I save money and I do the stuff you teach, I'm going to become rich and evil. And if I have money, I'll be an evil rich person. Yeah. There's a plan. But haven't we gotten this disconnect going there, seriously, where we think that everybody that's got money is evil or something? Sometimes we watch too much TV, I think. You know, the truth about money is that money is amoral. That means it doesn't have morals. It's not good.
and it's not bad. It doesn't make decisions. It functions based on what you or I do with it when we touch it. When we put it in the hands of a human is when we see it change. Now, it's kind of like this brick. This brick is amoral. I can take this brick and throw it through a plate glass window. Or I can take this brick and build a hospital or a home for unwed mothers. I can take this brick and build a clinic in a neighborhood that doesn't have one. The brick doesn't care. It's just a brick. But when you put it in the hands of a human, it starts taking on life. And then we say, oh, that guy's got a bunch of bricks. He must be evil. Or that one has no bricks. He must be good. And we start making these judgments. It's just a brick. Let me tell you, I have met rich people who are total greedy jerks. Have you? Say yes. Yes. I have met poor people that are total greedy jerks. Have you? Yes. I have met poor people that are some of the most godly people on the planet, haven't you? Yes. I have met some rich people that are absolutely incredible human beings and do all kinds of cool things with their wealth and are some of the most godly people on the planet, haven't you? Yes. You see, it's not the money, is it? If you're a jerk and you've got bricks, or you're a jerk and you haven't got bricks, you're still a jerk. Money is amoral. You're not bad because you've got some. You're not good because you don't. It doesn't work that way.